Testing, testing, testing. Hello? Testing, testing, testing. Hello? All right. So, learn some things from the Bowtie AR augmented reality filter I'm building with Facebook. Just going to walk you through how to tie a bow tie, and I made a first iteration that you can check out in the last video, and lots of good feedback. So people were trying to do steps of the bow tying, and it was either in front or behind them, and so they were kind of concentrating one step, and that step was not what was being shown in AR. And this is going to be an attempt. I have an idea of how to solve that, thinking about giving the user an option to play two different steps within that scene. So I'm going to, I guess, call this the second version. And what I'm going to try to do is break down these steps that are being shown into two big buckets. It was kind of annoying that was on the face. I did this so that you could see the bow tie while it's being done, but I'm not sure I love that. Maybe if we put it below, it'll be a little bit better than above. What if I put the occluder back in? What does this look like? Looks okay. Yeah. So what if we try keeping this below the person's actual tie? But see, that step's going to be covered. All right. Well, either way, we can play around with that. Now I'm going to try to break this into two steps. I'm going to use the patch editor and do some additional controls to this animation playback controller. So that is here. And I believe what I want to do is bring this in the patch editor and then learn more about animations. Applies animation data to transform the object. So there's some place in AR Studio where I can control the exact steps the progress. I want that. I want this progress action. And so I think what I want to do is reference this animation somehow. So what if I do this? Can I bind these two guys together? Ooh. That was kind of interesting. So this is my animation playback controller, and then I think I can give it a pulse. A pulse. Let's find a pulse. And then I'm going to trigger this pulse. Can I do that? That should start the animation. Play. Huh. Okay, that's not working. So what if we bind it this way? Play. Also not playing. Delete all these. Okay. So if I don't have the animation controller set up, okay, this has no animation. Now it's tied to here. And what I want to do is tie this to some logic. So this stop this looping, stop play on start, and then I should be able to add a pulse and bind here, and then bam. Okay, so before I didn't have the animation chosen. Bring this into full screen. Okay, cool. So now I want to have a little bit more control over this animation, this progress. Now how do I get all of that control? Because there are more properties than just here. I think what I have to do is bind this to animation controller. Oops. Animation player. Okay. So that's there. And the animation asset. Who could be this guy? What is this animation asset? Can I get some info? Animate 3D object. The animation asset must belong to the same asset collection, then the target. Okay. Is this an animation asset? Is this an... I feel like this is the animation asset. How do I bring this? Can I do one of these guys? Oh, there we go. Love it when you just do things perfectly. All right, so this is what progress it is. And this is how I'm going to break this into 2 steps. So let's see if I can just get it to loop between 0 and 0.5. That is the plan. All right. Okay, so this progress is probably an integer, would be my guess. What is progress? Progress, a number. All right, so we need a number that goes between 0 and 0.5. Loop animation. I like that. But it doesn't seem like it's quite what I want to do. I want it to loop between 0 and 0.5. Maybe I can say, okay. Maybe if I can say if progress equals 0.5, then pulse loop. That's kind of what I want to do. So if I wonder if I can, I think I can bind this to 2 things. I want to just check that real quick. So bam, and yikes. All right. Okay, so if this progress is 0.5, then loop, that's what I want to do. Point, I think this is a 2D point. What's animation data? Number. How do I set this condition though? If, what's the condition? Just a true or false? Greater than. I'm getting it. All right. So bind that. Oh, so there we go. There's two bindings. Why can't I do that before? All right. Greater than. No, I think I want my get. My guess is the top number. Check if one input value is greater than the other. It's greater than 0.5. If so, loop. All right, so let's say this is enabled. Bing, bing, bing. So here we go. That is fast. Okay, so what I want to happen is when this box is checked, the progress should go back to 0. Reset. It should reset. Ooh, 2 more patches have been canceled. Stop. Stop. All right. Just pause this. So I want this to reset. When this changes. What's going on here? So I sort of want the pulse to be sent off. A trigger when I change. There we go. What happens now when I play this? Okay, so when is it turned off? Let's see. And now. So when it's turned off, I want to reset. 2 more patches of creating a loop. Please remove some of these conditions and start again. Okay, you can't make loops. Interesting. Okay, well that's interesting. It's like maybe just for a quick and dirty solution. Can I output only numbers that are less than 0.5 and then it'll kind of pause at the end of the step, which would be, in my opinion, okay. Give the user a chance to try. So what I would want is only the numbers while this is true. So I want these progress numbers. Only when true. Okay. Whoa. So this gave me an idea. Oh, I can't undo. So when this condition is if then else, no. This, I want this greater than. And that's the wrong spot. Delete. Okay. So 0.5. Is it greater than 0.5? Yay! Well, I want less than. So, da. Oops. Bind the progress to this value, 0.5. If it is less than 0.5. Ooh. That seems to be the opposite. I don't know why. Greater or equal. Let's try this again. So progress, 0.5. And so this will drive the condition. Yay. And then we'll delete this one. Delete the progress. Delete. Maybe I can just override it. And then I kind of want to pause. Oh. So then else will make it 0.5. Okay. We want this to go a little bit further, is what I'm thinking. This is a little annoying, so I'm going to have to kind of mess with these two numbers. Probably an easier way to do this, like add, can I just add a number in here? Number, a value. In this way, I can bind this kind of else statement, so 0.6. That will drive both of these. I like how you can kind of play with this graph a little bit. All right. All right, I want that to be a little bit closer. I want it to be like when it's vertical to pause it. A little bit farther. Something like that. It's like, here's the first step. Ching. Okay, and then I want a button. I want two buttons. One would be, here's the first step, and then loop through this, and then I want the second button to give the second step in the sequence. All right, before I get with buttons, I'm going to see how I can do this just with the patches, and then I'll have a button just drive whatever I need to change in this patch. And so this is interesting. So now I'm going to have to be between 0.57 and 1. I want this condition to be true. When these values are between 0.57 and 1. So I think this is when I can use that less than or equal. And I almost want to I almost feel like it'd be easier to just copy and paste and then enable this one and then disable the next one. All right, we'll do that. Whoa, what just happened? Undo. So I'm going to copy this and I'm just going to paste it. It's interesting. Okay. and then I would hope I go, disable this one and then enable that other one is really the action I want to do. So these tied to the same thing. Okay, cool. So I think this should be a less than or equal to. And I think we'll have the same bindings. Right, yep. And then my guess is this is 0.57 and I'm going to disable this one for now and focus on this one. So numbers are moving. But it's not playing. I wonder if I can also bind this. I think it's going to get mad when I do this. Yeah, it's only going to want one at one time. But let's see. Is this doing what I want? Yeah, so those are the final steps. But I can only have one of these bound at a time. What is this? Can I have two of these targets? My guess would be no. BZ tie animations, that was this guy. I don't think I can get two of those in here. And I don't think I can dynamically switch between the bindings. So maybe my copy and paste strategy not work very well. Let's see. Let's see. So can I... Here's the problem. So these don't line up. This one's... I need to flip-flop this. This is the only difference between these two. This is greater or equal turns into a less than or equal. So I need like an if, another if statement, I would guess. Okay. Let me just see. Hopefully I didn't break anything with that delete. Uh-oh. Okay. So I think what I'm going to do is add another if statement. That will choose between using the greater or equals versus the less than. All right. And we'll say this is a value, so I can imagine I have more than one step. We'll make it a Boolean. I'm only going to have two steps on this first iteration, and it's going to be either going through these steps or the second step. So here we go. If this is true, we're on step one. That's what I'm thinking. If this is true, then use greater than is what I'm trying to. What I'm trying to make happen is if this is true, use R greater than, and if this is false, use R less than value. So what if I try this? That's actually not the loop I wanted. Delete. This delete could work a little bit better. Okay. Just wanted to delete that. Okay, so then values bound here as well, and progress is down here as well, and these should be opposing. So we'll say it starts off not clicked. So if it is not clicked, then please check patch graph and try again. So this doesn't like it because this is not matching. Okay. I want these to be numbers, actually. I want to do these numbers. Huh. I want the output to only be and I can think of a really weird way to do this. Would be okay. Now I'm getting lost. What am I trying to accomplish again? So what am I trying to accomplish? I want to change this. I want to change this condition right now. This needs to change to 1. All right. So we're going good. And then when I hit this new value, what I want to happen is I want else to change to 1. So how would I do that? If the condition is fulfilled, 0. If not, 1. So 0.57 and 1. Oh, I broke something. And then we'll bind it there too, so I can mess with them. Okay, so that's good. That's good. That's good. Okay, thinking through this. So I got this nice way to change the else. But I need now way. All right, let me just run this, see if this is gonna work. How this works now? Just give me baseline. Great, 0.57. Great, 0.57. And I'm just going to do this just to see what happens. We'll say the condition's fit. And that only changes the endpoint. It doesn't change what the then value is. So we need to change what this then value is. And this then value is bound to the progress, which is great. But we want this condition we want this. Uh-oh. Okay, yeah, I think I played it this way. So we want, in the second case, the condition to be bound to this less than equal. The first case for it to be bound to greater than or equal. Is there what's so in the first case, so if this is unchecked, we'll say we want it bound here, and if this is checked, we want this value. So let me say this again. If this is checked, take this value. If this is, if checked that, else that. Another if else. I feel like that was maybe the purpose of this one, but who knows? Okay, so if checked, then this. Okay, you want to be a Boolean. I do kind of like this because you can sort of say it out loud. Okay, now I just kind of lost myself, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, so it's checked. Unchecked. Hey, it does the ending one pretty good. So ending, this is good. This, we want this to be 0.57. So the else is also going to change. And that's where I think this one came in. Did I find that right? Ooh, okay. Let's see if I got it. I'm going to save. It's been a while. Been living on the edge. Okay, so here's the second step. Cool. Here's the first step. Not quite. I need it to pause at 0.57. Or maybe I guess keep it always 0.57. I think that should be fine if I think about it, because that's the end of the first step and the beginning of the second step. So instead of making this overly complicated, I kind of want to just delete that and so second step, first step. Oh, whoops. So first step, and then the user should be able to uncheck this value and do the second step. All right, so now we need some sort of box, some sort of 2D object. I just want it to be a checkbox. This is kind of uncharted territory for me. All I want is a checkbox. Flex rectangle. Rectangle? 2D rectangle. Right? This is so weird. Why is... What's this flex thing? I'm gonna flex over. My guess is that helps to make things responsive. Okay, but I want this to be in some other layer where it's not occluded. So you see my head is getting in the way. And I think that has to do with when things are rendered. Okay. And let's move this box. Move the box to the top. I don't know, the top left. And I plan on just telling people, hey, this box will help you make your dreams come true. Materials will make it, I don't know, a green box, a gray box, that's fine. So, can I get the click event of this box? That is a good question. Or can I just maybe make this even harder than it has to? Single click controller touch. I just want some touch. If anyone's touched anything, is that one of these guys? Utility. Options picker. Pause, random switch, value. Runtime, shaders. Okay. Length, math, logic. Here we go. Okay. Ooh, I kind of want it to be if you wink, it goes to the other one. I think that would be kind of cool. Are people gonna do that by accident, or screen tap? Are people gonna be touching the screen by accident? Maybe. Well, you could do a long press. All right. So what did that? How do I test this too? Can I? Screen long pause. Give me some more info about this guy. Capture a long press gesture anywhere on the mobile device. A Boolean signal that is true when detecting of long press. Okay. So when you're in the long press, I'm guessing this is a pulse, right? This state, or no, maybe this is a Boolean. So this is what I want. If the user does a long press, then this value goes from here to, oops, changes that. Thinking. So if the state changes, okay. Can't test this until I get my device. That's okay. Is there an or? I'm just gonna do this. Bam. Whoa. What just happened? What is this switch? What is this switch nonsense? Toggle between Boolean outputs for every input event. Sure. I think I made this complicated, but this should be, if you press on the screen, well, this should always be on. Okay. Will the state, Okay, so this will simulate press. And then what I want is whenever this is pressed, for this value to switch. So whenever I press this, switch. To make that more complicated than it needs to be. So whenever this is pressed, change that value. Whenever, if there is a long press, switch. Look, this flip thing seems great. Seems like a great idea. But it's only, I want them both to be flip. All right, flip. What is? Okay. So if it's in this state, flip that. If it's in that state, I want this to flip. So if it's not in this state, nothing happens. If it's in this state, there was like, what was that flip? That thing seemed exactly what I wanted. If in state, this condition will be met. Let's say it is tough. It is tough. All right, just to give my brain a break, delete this. All right, let's go through all these. Pulse. Trigger a pulse whenever a state changes from on to off. So whenever this changes from on to off, it will say either turned on or turned off. Kind of want. And if either of these things happen, change that. And this is where it gets confused because I want this state to just change. I don't want it to be driven by either of these. That's why I love this switch idea. I don't really understand it and how it comes up, but Okay. Flip. Flip. Let me just delete this and. How does this? On. Off. On. Turned off. Flip. So this is on, flip is on, this is off, that doesn't get called, this is on. Off, nothing done, on. On/off. Alright, now I'm just guessing. Did I do it? I think I did it. Now I just want to drive this from here. I want the initial value to be checked. I'm going to test this on my phone because I don't think you can emulate this long press. Maybe I can. Doesn't seem like it. So I'm gonna mirror this to my phone and see if it works. Let's open up the Spark Studio app. AR player. Sorry, I don't have QuickTime set up, so you won't be able to follow this one. But let's see. So there we go, playing the first step. And I long held it. Long press. Okay, that didn't work. That's not a good idea. What else do I have for click stuff? Stop bouncing. Let's save this real quick. What else do we have for clicking? Kissy face, head shake, object, tap. I mean, if you tap the tie, maybe. Scene understanding. No. It's like I could do one of the face things. That's going to happen by accident. What's object tap? I wonder if I can determine capture a tap of an object on the scene. The object that you want to tap. Okay. And let's see if I can make it 2D rectangle. That object. We'll put that in the top left. We'll make that material gray. And and I should be able to magically drag this in to here. And phew. Seems like an object to me. Seems like something that I should be able to understand if it is tapped on. And this tells you if you can bring it into the node editor. No real tapping information going on here. Screen space, world space from. Can I bring these? Just like drag them in? Yeah. What? But you don't like doing that with the rectangle? It's weird. Man. How do I get click? How do I get click from you? Move to insert. Okay, so maybe objects are just 3D objects. Should I try a plane, like a 3D plane? Or maybe I can make... Alright. 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 You don't like rectangles, you only like planes. Noted. Noted. Now this is floating around. Is it tracking my head? No. Okay, but we'll move it to this layer 1. So, boop. Okay, and then this is side. This will be the button to flip things. Give it that beautiful gray material. And object. And I completely forgot where I want to bind this tap to. Hopefully. What just happened? Can I test this one? That would be really nice. Tap. Disable. Flip camera, rotate. Dock simulation. Whoops, I don't really want to do that. I liked it where it was before. Now I'm breaking everything. Okay. Simulate touch. Hey. Whoops. Okay. Am I doing it? So this value is not changing. I broke something. Okay, so tap is bound to flip, where I think that is not right. Flipping is going on off. There's some crate. Okay, I don't know what just happened, but it seems to be working. And so that's step 2. And here's step 1. I'm gonna add some transparency to this gray just because I don't like this screen is already small enough, so you don't want to take away people's valuable camera space with little buttons. And then gray is just turning out to be kind of hard to see. Blue? Blue's a good button. Green. Yeah, green. Okay. Save, and then I'm gonna mirror this one. Just test this one out. Let me see my button. All right. Tap. Hey, it kind of works. I'm going to slow it down even more. There was some feedback I got as well. Real slow. Let's try real slow. See if that's annoying. 10 seconds. It's not like I'm connected. Close the app, open it again. There we go. Let's see this new one. Real slow, this guy is. Oh, that. Yeah, I think that's good enough. It's pretty slow, but I think people will appreciate that. The pauses are kind of annoying, to be honest. But I think it's worth testing this one out. So I'm going to call it for today. Post the link to version 2 of this filter, and you guys can check it out. Cool.